Hello everyone, I'm Bo from Brutal Commentary, and today I'm going to be breaking down our co-main event for UFC Noche. In this matchup, we have Rob Font taking on David Martinez. Now, originally it was supposed to be Rob Font versus Raul Rosas Jr., but pulled out due to injury, and so David Martinez, who was also on this card, stepped in to replace Chi Wiwi. Overall on their records, Font is 22 and 8, 3 and 2 in his last 5, while Martinez is 12 and 1, 5 and 0 in his last 5. Now looking at Font, there was a time where it seemed like Font was over the hill and very much past his prime, as at one point he was 0-1 and 4 in his last 5. His only win at that time was against Adrian Yanez at UFC 287, but it was sandwiched into two separate losses. The first two were about to Chito Vera and Jose Aldo. The other ones were to Corey Sandhagen and Devson Figueiredo, where they were just simply a level above Rob Font. But he's on a pretty nice win streak, beating two rising up-and-coming bantamweights who try to make a name off him. First one was Kyler Phillips, and then the second one was Jean Matsumoto, who, in all fairness, did do it on short notice and replaced a now retired Dominic Cruz. So, though, Rob Font is not over the hill yet, and he's showing that these young guns are really going to need to do something special if they're going to take his ranking from him. Meanwhile, David Martinez, his only fight in the UFC, he made his debut in March, was against Simon Oliveira, who he did absolutely destroy. He wasn't really competitive at all. And then it was to Xander. The last name is eluding me right now, but besides his contender series win, which he won via unanimous decision. Rob Font's entire game is built off one single aspect, his jab. He has easily the best jab in MMA, as this often called the Rob Font jab. Simply because he's very good at disrupting rhythm with it, he finds his timing with it, and it sets up just about everything. He's primarily a boxer in overall offense, and especially in the striking department. He has some kicks to his game, not too much. In fact, a lot of his strengths and weaknesses are that of a boxer. Everything's set off the jab. He's really good at connecting with said jab, disrupting rhythm, finding timing, as I've said, creating openings, and then stringing together 1-2, 1-2-3, etc. He's very good. It's all off the jab. But he also has weaknesses like a boxer. If you can take the jab away from him and make him sort of very reactive and just shell up, you're going to win, especially with leg kicks. He doesn't check them at all. Well, and that's usually been the weakness of Rob Font. It's just fighters with superior and multi-layered offense are often able to beat him. Sandhagen, now granted, he wrestled him for a majority of their fight, but even in the feet, he was clearly more tools, and he literally just beat him with one arm. And then you look at Figgy, who not only had the power on his side, but also the grappling and wrestling that was superior to Font. Now, I will say, Font is not a novice on the ground. He has very good get-ups. He has some tricky submissions at times, but more times than not, some fighters can out-wrestle him, like Kyler Phillips did even in the loss, and Matsumoto had a lot of ground control. It's just Rob Font's damage outweighed that. Now, looking at David Martinez, he's very good off the back foot, and very good at opponents who are very reactive. Like Simon Oliveira, he has a tendency to throw spinning back fists or some sort of looping strike when things aren't going his way. It's a clear sign when a fighter is frustrated when they just start throwing something to the wall and seeing what's sick. And that's what Martinez is really good at, drawing out those reactive. Reactive reaction is sort of redundant, but you get my point. He's very good at drawing out the reactions of said opponents, and thus forcing mistakes upon them. And at that point, he's able to capitalize with really, really good striking. And especially his kicks, he's got good dexterity on them, and he can kick from all ranges. And overall, his ability to layer in offense is very good. You watch, I keep pointing to the Simon Oliveira fight, but that's like his one UFC fight. If you want to look at his stringing combinations, he's able to combine 1-2-3, right knee up the middle, ground and pound. All in all, it was a beautiful string of combinations that led to the finish. The thing is, Rob Font ain't Simon Oliveira. The biggest thing with Martinez. Not only has he not fought someone to the level of Rob Font, obviously, but I do think David Martinez is a really, really good fighter, and I expect him to make waves in the bantamweight division. I think he's supremely talented, and he's still very young in the game. He's about 29, while Rob Font is 38. But I just think not only Rob Font's level of experience, but overall his ability to disrupt whatever a fighter is trying to do is going to be an enormous asset in this fight. Martinez has never fought anyone with a neutralizing like game like Font. Nowhere has he fought anyone with a jab like Font. Like, that's the biggest thing for Martinez when it comes to the inexperience. He's not fought someone who is able to just stop him from gaining momentum. Rob Font is not going to just let him do whatever he wants and start building off of it like this. He's going to cut it off mid-step. He's going to do something to stop Martinez from gaining momentum. Whether that be, he does have some calf kicks to him, but mainly his jab. Or his string combinations. Plus, Rob Font is just so fucking tough. He's only been finished once, and that was a guillotine choke to Pedro Munoz. That's it. I mean, you look at some of the strikers he's fought at bantamweight. Chito Vera, who destroyed his face. Sanhagen out-wrestled him. Figueiredo, Jose Aldo, the list goes on. He's fought some of the who's, if we're talking versatile power punchers in the bantamweight division. And he wasn't getting finished. Now, he can be hurt and dropped. I'm not saying he's invulnerable or anything, but he's a tough bastard who refuses to quit. And he's fought people of Martinez's level of power, like Marlon Moraes is a good example, where he was able to just disrupt Moraes and get in close quarters and just finish him off with the boxing. Or Adrian Yanez, for that matter. At the end of the day, Rob Font's boxing is usually the superior of his opponents. And I do think that's going to be the case for this one. Now, there is a possibility that Martinez is going to level up in this fight, as, you know, this is a big opportunity for him, a co-main event in UFC Noche, which is all about Mexican Independence Day. And, you know, being a native-born Mexican, it's going to fuel Martinez. I surely believe that. Plus, a big shot like this where you have a chance to get into the top 10 of one of the deepest divisions in UFC, I definitely see it as a motivator. And I definitely expect Martinez to try and rise to the occasion. I just think Rob Font has too many tools to disrupt what Martinez is good at. Looking at the odds, Rob Font is a minus 130. Martinez is a plus 116. I agree with them. It's a pretty close fight. You got to factor in Rob Font's age and the amount of damage he has taken over the years. But I believe the old dog, who's used the same tricks, but really good tricks, are going to win at the end of the day. I'm going to pick Rob Font, and I think he's going to get the decision. I'm sure Martinez is really tough. I don't think Rob Font's just going to get him out of there. I see him picking him apart at boxing distance, getting his reads, and overall just fighting a smarter, tactical fight in comparison to Martinez. So I am going to pick Rob Font via decision. But with that being said, that has been my prediction for our co-main event of UFC Noche. If you liked the video, comment and subscribe. I'd like to hear your thoughts on overall how you think the fight is going to go. Next up, we'll have our co-main event, Lopez versus Silva, and I can't wait to talk about it. But with that being said, I've been Bo from Brutal Commentary. I thank you all for listening. Take care.